This video is sponsored by Reversible Conversions. Turn your work van into a weekend camper van in less than a minute with a reversible conversion.
In this video I'm going to explain how to build a really simple solar water heater and reveal if it actually works as a shower when the weather is not perfect sunshine. This is the setup. So I use a 25 litre water container because they're pretty cheap and available on eBay like everything else you will need. The pump I used is 12 volts and apparently has a 5 metre head, which I think is the height that it can pump upwards, and an optimistic, it turns out, maximum flow rate of 840 litres per hour or 14 litres per minute. And there are a load of different makes, but just make sure it will fit in the hole in the container, and also ideally the output diameter is 10 millimeters because you can then use push fit connectors. I use 6 John Guest 10 millimeter push fitting bulkhead connectors in total, although one doubled as a slightly leaky cable grommet. I'm sure it could have been sealed, but I think you use the container on its side, so don't care that much. The bulkhead fittings I used required 25 millimeter holes, and I put them in as shown. But it was tricky to get the nuts on the back. I mean, it's not easy because the hole's quite small in the top of the container, so I would suggest putting them as close to the hole as you can. 10mm plastic pipe, the pneumatic pipe, is stiff enough to keep the pump at the bottom of the tank if it's cut slightly longer than the height required, so you can sort of measure that from the outside. And I use this piping all the way through. It's pretty much indestructible in normal use. The pump cable needed to be connected to preferably a fused 12 volt power supply, and I used a screw type waterproof connector which makes sure that polarity is always correct. I also have 4 blanking plugs which stop any dirt getting in when it's not being used. So that's more or less it for the tank pump unit. The solar mat is going to be a bit trickier if you don't have access to a 3D printer. The mat I used is made by Intex, and they're designed to be daisy-chained together to heat swimming pools. The pipes coming out of the mat are about 30 millimeters in diameter, and one needs to be capped off and the other 2 reduced to fit the 10mm plastic push fittings. I don't know if there are any standard things for this. I doubt it very much, but they're pretty easy shapes to model up and print, and I'll figure out a way of attaching the files to this video somehow. So I built this a couple of years ago as part of a camper van build. The pump gets its power from the back of the van, and once the water is heated, the outflow pipe from the tank is disconnected from the mat and connected up to the van. The water then flows from the tank into the van through more plastic tubing to a shower head mounted on the inside of the rear hatch. I tested it in the garden a couple of times when it was cloudless high 20s, and it heated about, I'm guessing, 35 litres of water, which is the tank and the mat, from probably 10 degrees or so, whatever is ambient, up to above 34 degrees, the scale limit on the fish tank thermometer, in about half an hour. So definitely hot enough for a hot shower, but I have no idea if the solar mat will be any good when the sun's not blazing hot. So I was about to find out, as I intended to take the camper van out for the first time in ages. So the campsite was Woodlands Camping. I can highly recommend it. However, bring everything you need because they provide basic amenities only. Toilet and 1 shower and no electric hookup. It is located in the south of England, about an hour from London and very close to Winchester, which is a very pretty place to visit. So there were plenty of pitch spaces in fantastic scenery, as you can spot from the lack of guide ropes, not much wind. The weather was ideal to see if the solar shower would work. It was patchy sunshine, but definitely not that hot. So I gave the setup about 30 minutes. I was about slightly slack on timing, but the temperature was up to around 25 degrees from ambient, no idea what. Not fantastic, but good enough since it had started to cloud over, and I suspected as good as it was going to get. I'm fairly confident the temperature would have continued to climb without the clouds coming over, and if I'd left it out there for longer. So, ticking a box. Warm enough for a shower? Just about. Power shower, however, it was not. My guess is that the number of pipe bends and the height in the water needs to be raised to reduce the maximum 840 litres per hour for the pump to something closer to about 120 or 2 litres per minute. Not great, but good enough to have a shower, and definitely good enough for me to vote with my feet in the future and not use campsite shower facilities. So, I hope this video is useful. I'll probably aim to do something more covering other parts of the bongo conversion in more details. Subscribe.
Doing your own van conversions can be fun and rewarding, but also time-consuming and frustrating. Fit a reversible conversion to your van in under a minute. The best of both worlds.